So without further ado, we've got a great program and a lot of wonderful speakers lined up here. We have the fortune this morning of welcoming some of our past presenters back to the stage. They're going to give us a great recap on how their company, their organization has grown or changed, progressed over the last year or since last time we saw them. And if we've seen them recently, they may talk about how they as an entrepreneur have grown over the past year as well. It's really important for us to continue to grow as business leaders. So without further ado, I want to welcome our past presenters. I'd like for you guys to each introduce yourselves whenever you take the floor. But if you could, in just a handful of minutes, tell us a little bit about your company, how you've grown over the past year, or since last time we saw you, or how you as an entrepreneur has grown. So I'm going to first pick on Jason Van Atta. Jason, I didn't know if you thought I was going to pick on you first, but you're going to be the first in the bullpen. So, no, you're good.
Okay.
Take it away.
All right, I'm Jason Van Atta. I'm of Van Atta Fabrication. I bought the Sedalia Youth Center on 16th Street. So I've actually been in business for quite a while, but 3 years ago, right before I joined Million Cups, is when I bought that. I moved in there. It's just me and one guy. I was doing, what we do is we build show vehicles. Then we build lots of parts for show vehicles. So I was building show vehicles, and I had a buddy I trained, I hired. He was building the parts. Then I hired, well, anyway, there's 5 of us now. It takes 2 guys to handle the parts. They've gone up 200% since January 1st. Then I kind of run everything. I get involved in all the builds. I can do a lot of the building. Then I've got a professional painter and body guy that pretty much stays back there and does that in this area. And I've got a mechanical guy who does a lot of our motor swaps. We put the new engines out of like the new Chevy trucks into the old vehicles. He does a lot of that. Then is that everybody? That's 5 of us, I guess. So I spend most of my days just on the phone. I'm a dealer for about 13 different companies now. Started doing that the last year. So every single truck we build, we use Vinny Jared, Dakota Digital, PSI, American Auto Wire, Fessler Glass. I'm like, I need to be a dealer for these companies, so I'm using them all the time. I'm spending a lot of money. Plus, they're getting a tremendous amount of advertising off of us. You've got probably, Facebook says about 300,000 people a year see what we're doing. And we became a dealer for all those companies, so I spent a lot of time selling parts, which is great, because our business that's really where the money's at, is in the parts. It's just very efficient. Building the vehicles isn't so much efficient. I never, ever bill out an 8-hour day for anybody. Too much time looking for tools, figuring things out. There's no instructions for what we do. I tell the guys, like, I am your instructions. I'll show you how to build a show vehicle, then they do it perfectly. All my new guys have 0 rework, so this year is going much better than last year. We had employees that had, probably $20,000 in rework. And things they would do, and then have to redo, damage they would do, so they're gone. We've got professionals now. It's going very, very well. We've outgrown the building though. We can't get any bigger. We've got 2 build schedules, we build 2 trucks at a time. Nobody can get in until 2020, it's all full. Then the parts department's overflowing, so we're overflowing into the showroom. We take the trucks apart, we take all the parts and put them in the showroom, and all the new parts come in, we put them all in the showroom, the shop's just completely full. So my plan is to just save, in about 2 years, build a shop just on the outside of town. We're so close to town. And then have a shop specifically built just for what we do. Taking a pre-existing building that has a huge wall in the center that we cannot remove, it's got us just stuck. So we need a body shop, paint area. It's all separate from everything else. Just basically, for now, I'm happy the way we are though. We grew real fast. I want to just stay just where we are. Get everything just working perfectly. Everybody's like, oh, you need to grow. I was like, no, I don't want to grow. I like the way it is. I got friends who build like the $300,000 vehicles. We're like the $85,000 vehicles. They're like, stay where you are. Like, those customers are not so much fun to work with. They watch those TV shows and they come in the shop, they tell us how to do our work, and it's not any fun. We have a lot of fun. We all love our jobs. Our customers are great. Customers, they all become pretty good friends of ours. Then we get to go out in the show scene like this summer. We travel all over, mostly the South, but you get to meet up with the customers. Like none of our builds are actually from Missouri. They're from Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Kansas, Houston is a big forest, so it's all around Missouri. Mostly all business owners, guys in their 40s that own their businesses and kind of do what they want as far as what their wives let them spend. But they're always like, I gotta ask the boss, and that's the wife. Yep. So, I think that's pretty much it.
Very good, thank you. Who wants to go next?
Thank you. So, my name is Laura. I'm the general manager of Hotel Bothell here in town. We've had quite a few exciting changes and some news going on here at the hotel. So, most recently, we were nominated in Missouri's Best competition for Best Hotel in Missouri. And we were up against quite a few big names, a lot of resorts in Lake of the Ozarks, also I think it was a Maristar Casino up in St. Louis, and a lot of big name brands, or big name hotels. And so we actually were awarded that award, so I'll go April 18th down to Camdenton and pick up the award. So we were nominated Best Hotel in Missouri. Funny story about that is I actually just hired a female that worked at one of the large resorts in Lake of the Ozarks, and she said that she, the week before, was just in her manager's office and they were all talking about this Hotel Bothell. Why would anybody care about something in Sedalia, Missouri? And so it's kind of funny that now she's working for me and she gets to see it. Maybe she'll report back with why Sedalia is so important. So it's just another way to kind of put us on the map and get our name out there, and then also encourage people to visit Sedalia. In addition to that, I don't know if anybody saw on Facebook, but we did a very quick renovation. So our Truman room, which I'm not sure if everybody's familiar with that, in our basement, it was a big complaint. What we've kind of focused on this year is listening to what our guests are saying and what kind of changes do they want to see. One of the biggest ones was everybody in Sedalia offers breakfast with their stay, why don't you? So we took that to heart and decided very quickly to renovate the Truman room, and it is now our breakfast room. So all of your corporate guests, family members, will now receive breakfast with each of their stays. So that's something new that we've gotten a lot of really good positive feedback with that. Some different changes. The Ivory Grill has kind of changed up their hours. We're kind of refocusing. The biggest request I think we're getting is a lot of corporate needs. People are needing places for corporate dinners, corporate meetings, so we're going to kind of refocus on that. So the Ivory Grill is closed down for lunch, and we'll now be focusing more on those catered events, and they'll be open now for dinner on Monday nights. So that's all going into place. So they're open every day of the week except for Sunday. Still offering local businesses catered events on Monday nights. So even though they're closed, they'll still open up and cater your events. Still going strong with that corporate discount, so still offering all local businesses in town that 35% discount on all the rooms. So I think just kind of inviting more. We had the symphony there, which was fantastic to see. A really big crowd, over 100 people showed up for that. So just continuing to invite and meet your needs on our point, for your local businesses on what we can do. So I encourage everybody to keep providing that feedback and let us know if there's anything that we can do to continue to serve local businesses.
Thank you. Congratulations on the nomination.
Thank you.
Moving right along.
I'll go. Dan Ginsparg, Iron Tiger Manufacturing. It was a couple years ago that I did this. I believe it was May of 2017. And interesting thing about that is we were just coming out of what was a recession for us. It was 2 years of losses, and not large losses, but it had not been going very well. No matter what you think of him, Trump got elected and everything changed. And we've been growing pretty rapidly ever since. We're probably up 300% in terms of revenue from where we were then. I had just purchased the building that I'm in that took a lot of renovation. I learned a lot about electricity and roofing and things that I did not have a background in. I had to learn. We've spent the last 2 years investing in equipment too, so we upgraded our equipment pretty substantially. We have a lot of CNC machines now. Our customer base is much larger. We found some really, really large customers close to here. I mean, we've got an enormous new customer that's in Lawrence, so we can reach them in 2 hours. As an example, this week they called us last Friday. They had run out of reels. Could we help them? And so within a couple of days, we're turning around and we're sending stuff to them. So that's a relationship that's going to continue to build. I think we were around 11 employees because we had really been pretty much crushed the previous 2 years. We're now around 24, 25 on a good day. I would say, the only problem we're having now is, I think I talked about it at the time, that our biggest risk was the human resource pool, and that has not changed. That has probably gotten worse than it was when we were, 2 years ago. We spend just an enormous amount of time hiring, training, and then replacing. And we could probably grow another 30% this year, but we can't, because we can't get the employees, the welders in to do that. So that's probably the biggest frustration we have right now, is we can't get enough quality people and get them to stay, especially under the age of 30. So it's pretty frustrating. We probably went through seven people since the end of last year already that have come in and gone. It's just it's frustrating, but the outlook is very, very good. The markets that we're in are growing, and we're getting more of a name for ourselves as an alternative to some of the bigger players. We just keep chipping away. It's a big market. I've learned more about the market. There's a lot more out there. So, we really have a very small portion of what's a very, very large market. So if we can keep chipping away, and our location, I think, is going to help us, because we found another possibility in Tulsa, which is, again, very close to here, and where they're getting supplied, they're more than a day away as well. So these are things that we can take advantage of. So it's been a very, very good couple of years, but I know I'm not saying anything that nobody else is dealing with, but the personnel issue is just a really serious problem here in Sedalia. It's just it's very, very, very difficult to get new people.
Very good, thank you, Dan. And if somebody in the audience has questions or follow-up comments for presenters, is there please feel free.
I also want to mention that my wife comes with me now. I think when I'd done this before, my kids were still in the high school. My youngest is off to college, so now my wife has come down, which has been a big help to me. So.
Very good.
My name is Matt Baggard with Dragon LLC. My presentation was last year in May, and it was over with my building at 704 South Ohio, which is downtown, right behind the gateway there. And the concept is to open up a piano bar. A lot of things have changed in my life since last year, and mainly with my schedule. I had last year I was looking at 800 hours of community service I did in a lot of different organizations. Now I have a full-time job where I'm selling security systems. I'm also part-time at one of the churches in town. So I have those responsibilities, but I still have been working on I call it my passion project, which is opening up the piano bar and a restaurant. With downtown, I couldn't ask for a better location, and what has happened downtown in the last 3 years is remarkable. With the growth and buildings being sold, and a lot of things going on with downtown and the vibe of all the artists and everything coming together. So I could ask for a better location to have it done. I'm looking for financing right now to open up my piano bar. And I'm 85% done with the building. I got some plumbing and electrical due, and but when it comes to the build out is pretty much done. All the supplies and everything I have already accumulated. Another thing is with that schedule, I have focused on getting everything to that point where I can get the financing. And we're, with my passion project, we're looking at $1.2 million for that. And another thing is I also, right after my last time here, I decided to quit drinking, and I'm at about 310 days sober. So that's So if anybody wants to invest downtown, I'm a good guy to talk to. Thanks.
Very good, thank you.
I'm LaDonna Meisky, and I am a consultant with a direct sales company called StyleBots. And we have customizable jewelry and accessories. And I don't know when I presented, it was a while back. But business continues to be great. I do home parties, office parties, Facebook parties. I go to craft shows and different types of events, and live on Facebook, wherever there's an opportunity to show our gorgeous product, I hope to be there. My team is growing, not as quickly as I had hoped that it would, but I'm still working on that. So if any of you know anyone who would like some extra spending money, give me a call. I earned an incentive trip, which I'll be going on next week to Mexico, so I'm excited about that. I'm actually very happy that the name StyleBots is becoming more and more recognizable, because I am the only person in this area who does have that, is a consultant for that company. So that's about it.
Thank you.
I'll go.
I have a quick question, actually. Did you win some awards last year, LaDonna?
Me?
Yeah.
I've been like top sales for. I was number 6 last year in the nation, but I have been number 1 2 times, so. Well, I have some clients.
Happy customers, good.
Yes.
And we love her product.
Which is a nice segue for me, because I also have some customers. But I'm Cliff Callis. I'm the president of Callis and Associates. Most people associate us with full service advertising agency, also do digital marketing and public relations and everything that kind of wraps around that. And I think I was one of the earliest presenters. I filled in a slot where there was an opening because I've been around for 32 years. I know I look a little older than 32, but that's really age is nothing, right, John? We serve a variety of clients, regionally and nationally, and our focus is really on serving rural America, which nationally is kind of trending upward right now. There's a lot of interest in our marketplace. But the thing that continues to drive our business is technology, digital marketing, and everything associated with that. There continues to just be new technology coming out, and it's really integrated in every part of the business. And I'm sure that everybody that's up on stage would echo that technology is impacting their business in a lot of different ways. But one of the neat things that we see happening in our business is that now that digital has been around long enough to really be solid and a mainstay, is a renewed interest in some of the more traditional mediums. One that really stands out is direct mail, because if you think about it, none of us get as much direct mail as we used to. And so if you put something in somebody's mail, it tends to stand out a little bit more. Voice SEO, many of you have an Alexa or something in your home or office. She's listening, and she's probably going to serve you up information that you're interested in. Did she just come on there?
You guys have that all planned.
Be careful. So voice SEO is becoming more important. SEO has always been important since it originated. Ratings and reviews. People are paying more attention to what other people think about products and services, and integrated CRM programs. But it's all really hinged on a nice website that you can build around and drive people to and develop your business from. And our business has been very solid. We have 10 employees, have a good group of people, in fact, a great group of people. We added a social media coordinator last year, Lindsay Barnes, who's sitting in the front row as she should be. And I think this organization has been an amazing addition to our community. The opportunity for people to get up and talk about themselves and their business and where they're going, but also then to take ideas that come from the crowd and put them into their business. So thank you for supporting this organization.
So thank you for that. Question, you said that rural America is seeing a resurgence. Can you expand on that? What are you seeing from and hearing from your clients?
Well, the movement of the population is in the urban areas. I mean, if you look at trend lines, that's where people are going. And yet there's now kind of a kickback to people wanting to leave the city and move back home, move back to the country. And, you know, I talk to people who maybe grew up in New York but never left New York. And they have no idea how great we have it out here in the country. And I think as more and more people understand that, I think that trend is going to continue to grow because our quality of life, our cost of living, technology has enabled people to get the services out here that they didn't used to before. There's a big push towards rural broadband, which is going to make technology even more seamless. And it's just, the movement is back to the country. Or be a country song about that.
You can debut your song next year when we're back here.
And we'll get Ryan, you can come dance.
Let's make a note of that.
That was a yes.
Thank you. Paula, how about you?
That's right.
I'm Paul Walter, a company that kind of is an umbrella called Culinary Provisions. This past year, I've been a vendor at, I guess it was 8 different wine shows, and we'll start up that season again the very last Saturday of April, when I'll go back to Warsaw for the Benton County Charitable Foundation fundraiser, where last year they apologized that only 1,100 people showed up. The second largest one I was a vendor at this past year was in Independence. It was like 2,300 people drunkenly go through there. But between being a vendor at the farmers market, then segueing and following the year through all the wine strolls, and then this past winter I was a vendor at the Cole Camp Christmas market. That was very, very interesting, very, very rewarding. And then was a vendor out here at the State Fair Community College, huge arts and crafts fair where it was like, I don't know, there's like 2,000 people go through there that day. And it was, and the only reason I was at the Cole Camp and the State Fair Crafts Fair was to debut a corporate gift-giving food gift line that I'd always wanted to put together as a result of all the fresh baked things that I make. And then this year in February, I was a vendor at 2 different wedding fairs. And that kind of fed or opened up or created or made me aware of a huge opportunity in this area for catering. And it's really nice to dip into a field where you have no competition. And so that's kind of been my focus. And then there's all kinds of other things that I've devoted a whole lot of time to since the first year that I'm not privy to talk about today. But is very, very exciting that I'm looking forward to.
So stay tuned, right?
Yes. It's going to be fabulous.
Very good. Thank you. Jessica.
Well, I'm Jessica Beasing, and my business is the Scarlet Lens Photography. I do portraits, I do weddings, I have a photo booth. I've done a lot of events this year with my photo booth. This weekend in particular, I'll be at Casa's in Her Shoes. If you are going, I will see you there. It's a great event. But my business has changed quite a bit actually since when I presented originally. I've kind of spent this last year kind of saving, and I'm trying to build my own little studio. I don't want much, I just want a little bit. If you heard me talk before, I have little kids, and so having those little kids has kind of changed some of my focus to being able to be with them but still be able to run my business. So I've kind of had to do some juggling as far as, you know, putting my roles of mom and entrepreneur in the kind of balance. I don't just own my photography business. I have a couple other businesses too. So kind of managing those things is super important. But as far as like Scarlet Lens has grown, I've gotten several more clients over the past year, and I've been able to get not just more repeat business of my same clients that I've had. I've been really blessed to kind of have legacy clients that I've done their engagement photos, their wedding, I've done their first baby announcement, I've done their baby's newborn photos, I've done that same baby's year photos, and then coming up on 2-year photos. So I'm very lucky in that I have a loyal customer base, and then I get to attract new customers in too. So I'm very thankful that I have the opportunities I do, because I get to have fun with my photo booth, and then I love getting to have those times that I can create this beautiful picture for families to hang on their wall to be able to remember that time of their life.
Repeat customers are the best customers.
Repeat customers are the best customers.
I like the idea of that legacy customer. Well, I'm sure you've seen that in your business too, as your clients evolve and grow.
Absolutely. You know, there's always an evolution of clients going away from your business for whatever reason. Anytime you can even control that, or new clients coming on, but the ability to maintain long-term client relationships and to grow those relationships over time can really impact the business positively.
Steve, I know that you were just here last month, give us an update on your company or how you as an entrepreneur, I know that you are a serial entrepreneur, had a couple of small businesses that you've owned and managed over the years. How have you grown last year?
So, thank you. Appreciate the opportunity. I know I was just here and everybody heard me a month ago, but there's been a couple of things that have taken place since that meeting. I guess I'm a big believer if you say something enough, maybe it'll happen. And I think when I spoke at this group and talked about what we need to do as a company to showcase Sedalia to grow, is really think about expansion into other markets. And it's easy to talk about, but very challenging to do. But since that talk that I gave last month, we've done 3 things to make that happen. The first thing is we found an attorney to help us license it. So we're not going to franchise this business, we're going to license it in other markets. And I'll follow up on what Mr. Callis said. The opportunities are in rural America. I'm not going to go likely to the middle of Kansas City to produce this publication, but I'm very likely to go to Harrisonville or Warrensburg or outlying areas where there's more of an opportunity to capture attention in the marketplace. So we've started that process. Attorneys aren't cheap, but they're worth it because you got to do it the right way. We've also made contact with 4 potential licensees, people that are interested, that I've worked with in the newspaper business before and other things that are interested in buying licenses in certain markets. So interest and doing are 2 different things, but we're putting together a process for them. And then finally, the biggest piece of the puzzle is something that we've actually avoided so that we can keep focused, but it's inevitable that we have to go down this path, and that is on the digital front. And so what we have started the process of doing is building out a website. And the goal for the website will be very simple. Whatever you get in this magazine, you can also go to the website, click the market that you want, and print out your coupons for that month. Now that's, that is as elementary as you can get. The newspaper does that very well, and I'm sure radio does it well in this town as well. We've stayed mostly focused on our print product, But the reality is, even in rural America, we've got to be more digitally focused down the road as well. So my little talk a month ago sort of forced me to face reality, and so we're starting that process, and I'm excited to see where that can take us. So that's those are three things that we've done. Oh, the other thing I did is I had a ton of fun going out to GoDaddy, and I just started grabbing sites. You name it. If there's a city around Missouri, and I bought it. We Showcase Sedalia, Showcase Orangeburg, you name it, I bought the site. And what's really great about GoDaddy, you can buy it for $6. And so I bought them all up, just in case. So that's our update. Thank you, Jessica.
Yeah. Very good.
So you're good, but you are going to keep doing the print, correct?
Forever. Forever. Print's not dead, it's not gonna die. It's, just to follow up on what Mr. Cowles said again, direct mail is really hot right now. This gentleman, this is a longtime customer of ours that just ran on the cover a couple weeks ago, called me and he said he's gonna do $50,000 in business off of this front page ad for $1,400 investment. So it still works, and it's still, frankly, in marketing, it works better than digital. It doesn't mean you don't need digital, you have to have it. But it works better. And Will probably tell you the same thing. The printed newspaper still gets awesome results. You run a post-it note on the front of the paper, you're going to get great results. So there's still a really strong need for print.
Like this guy.
I
was getting a commission now.
It's just a fact. It just is. So.
Very good. Thanks, Steve. So last but not least, Mark, we gotta come back to you and
I was hoping you'd save me till last. Our sports plug isn't here this time, Brandy, so I guess I get to like fill a little shoes too, right?
Yep.
So Brandy usually talks like 45 minutes. So I won't go that long. My name is Mark Kessner. I'm co-owner of Bluebird Outdoor Adventures in Cole Camp. Let me ask everybody, who has ever heard of us? Okay, so half or so. 3 years ago, there would have been 0 hands. So we've knocked down some huge walls that was on our target to knock down, and that was to get our name out and be noticed. 2 years ago, we were up about 75%, 65%, somewhere around there. From this time, from 2 years ago, we're up. I know you guys won't believe it, but it's 366%. So my brother is my partner. He's a captain in the Navy, and he's stationed in Norfolk, Virginia. So it's kind of hard to do business that far away. So we have weekly meetings, monthly meetings on the computer, on the Skype thing, or things like that. Twice a year, I either go out there, he comes out here. We have a 4 or 5 day like summit meeting. We usually try to schedule that around some kind of partying, either down the lake or in Virginia Beach. So we like to have fun too. But our business is still growing and growing and growing. And what we found out is the word of mouth and return clients. Even this year already is a lot of return clients that had a real good experience. And what the best part about our business is we sell fun. It's hard not to have a good time going camping. I mean, how can you not have a good time going camping? The other big part of our business is we offer a delivery service where people can go camping for a weekend at any of the state parks around here or within a reasonable distance. Our operating area is about 70 miles, 60, 70 miles with the delivery service. So people that don't have a vehicle that pull a camper that want to take their kids camping a couple times a year, we got them covered. We'll take the camper up there to whatever site that they want, set it up, they show up and have a good time, and they leave, and we come and get it and take care of everything. So that's a big deal. Our RV park in town, in Cole Camp on the east side of town there, we have bids out right now for updating that. We want to create a destination there. Right now it's a gravel parking lot, and I think we have 7 full hookups for 30 and 50 amp RVs. So we got a couple landscape contractors giving us bids for doing a bunch of landscaping this year and getting some trees planted. I mean, I'd like to see shade there before I can't, go down there anymore, and some retaining walls, things like that. Try to fix that up where it's a destination. Our RV park, excuse me, actually grew over 100% from last year. The Cole Camp Fair was big. We actually had people just bring their RVs in and run off generators and stuff. So all of our sites were full, and a couple other events that's in town there. Co-Camp has a lot of different things going on during the summertime. And the RV park was really, it was a need for the town. So not only we supply a service and stuff, we're helping our community too, you know, with that part of it. And with that being said, who would have ever thought that, you know, a camping business would have started with one camper, one $500 camper, right? So years ago, 15 years ago, this started with one camper. It was our deer camp camper, you know. And 3-4 years ago, we actually owned 2 campers, and we were kind of struggling, you know, trying to get our name out and stuff. Right now, we own 15, and we've rented to people almost in every state of the country. Our campers have traveled from Texas to Minnesota to Idaho, Wyoming, Colorado, Maine, actually Virginia Beach. So we're knocking down those walls to get our name out there, right? So what we found out 2 years ago, we got a call from a lady in Independent, or Olathe, Kansas, she was a flood victim. And you guys will kind of see where I'm headed with this in just a minute. So we got in contact with, her insurance company got in contact with us, so we set them up with alternative living space. She had 6 kids and like 13 animals, dogs, things like that. So the hotel thing was not an option for her, and not cost efficient for their insurance company. They'd had to border the animals, you know, and stuff. And if you guys know, and you know, this might sound bad, but if you leave your place and somebody, as soon as people know you're gone, things start coming up missing, right? And things vandalized and things like that. So we kind of, after that 8-month thing with her, we kind of thought that there might be another avenue with our business right through there. So we got in contact with State Farm Insurance. We're like one of their top people to go to for our alternative living space. We've had the first year we had 1 contract. This past year we've had 7 contracts. We actually still have 2 campers, one in Garnett, Kansas, and one in Overbrook, Kansas, that's been there for over 9 months apiece. They were both fire victims. They have livestock, live in rural areas. The one older gentleman, the nearest hotel where his place was, like 45 miles one way. So the first week he was gone, displaced out of his house, his air conditioner whatever they steal out of the air conditioners, I don't know what it is. His air conditioner thing got stolen, and the gates were all left open, his livestock got out, the horses were out. So we got a camper up there for him the very next morning, and he was able, his name's Carl. He's still able to stay at his property, oversee all the construction, answer any questions, keep an eye on his place, feed his animals. His dogs can stay there. We are pet friendly as long as it's not a dog like my lab, you know, a 100-pound dog, you know. But that part of our business, believe it or not, last year the insurance contracts and stuff was 48% of our business from camping. And the other big part of our business is just extra sleeping space. We're partners with Randy Von Holten and David out of Von Holten Brands. We do a lot of business out there. Last year I've hauled campers in all areas of the lake area and stuff, just for weddings, graduations, things like that. People have a bunch of people coming in. They don't want to drive, not to put Sedalia down, but Sedalia and Co-Camp, it's a long drive, you know, and nobody wants to drink and drive. So this way we can keep them at their place. And they have extra sleeping facilities and stuff, bathrooms if they need showers. It's like an apartment on wheels. So we're growing and growing, and this year, probably within the next 30 to 60 days, we're going to end up having to hire some kind of office manager, because I'm also a part-time consultant at Stanley Black & Decker, so that takes up a little bit of my time and stuff, but we try to answer phone calls, emails as quick as possible. And I know when I call and leave a message, I like to have a response back, you know, not 3 days later. So looking to hire somebody, and that's where we are.
Very good. You had a busy couple of years.
Yeah, it's grown and grown. And knocking down those walls with getting your name out there. I know we tried several different advertising things and stuff, and our return clients and our clients, they had to pat ourselves on the back, I guess. We get letters from kids. We always leave, every client gets a starter kit of s'mores. It's like $3. I mean, $4, you know, it's just a little starter kit of s'mores. And then we also leave a thank you letter on the table for them. Thank you for choosing us, and hope you enjoy your experience. I have a stack of things and little notes written from kids on there. Thanks for this morning, and then they spell things like I do. Thanks THKS, and for the s'mores, and the camper was great, and just on and on, and the reviews we have, you can check out our Facebook page. It's tremendous. I mean, it's a good feeling. We had a family group. I won't go on like Brandy does, but I get to talking, and it's a good thing I went last. We had a group come from Indiana last year that was going to Idaho, and for 2 weeks. So they took one of our smaller units, and I forget how many kids they had. That unit will sleep 10 people. So they took a 2-week trip all the way to Idaho, back around and stuff. And when those guys come back, the looks on those kids' face, there was like 6 kids. I mean, it was unbelievable the time that they had. And they would have never, they don't have to be out 15, 20 grand for a camper. And they were only going to do this one time, or maybe 2 times a year. So it's not cost efficient to buy something like that unless you just got money to blow. You just want to say you have a camper. So we're, a typical weekend for us is around $350. So, and that's delivered and set up. So, you can camp with us several times a year for 20 grand.
So with the recent floodings in Nebraska and parts of Missouri, are you expecting additional phone calls? And if so, are you prepared to ramp up with more units if you needed to find 15 more tomorrow?
Actually, right now I have a request for 17. I have a meeting at 9:30 with a gentleman from an insurance company in North Missouri. We're going to meet, and somebody said something about investors. Anybody up here knows it takes a ton of money, tax time and stuff, and everything is right here now too, and we kind of struggle in that area. My love her to death, but my sister-in-law kind of takes care of that. But I just cringe when it comes to this time of the year, because I want to make sure everything's done right. But yeah, we actually got in contact and in partnership with a company in Dallas, Texas called THD, Temporary Housing Development. The lady's name is Missy. She's a head coordinator for 7 of the top insurance companies in the United States. So we have requests right now for alternative living space in Panama City, Florida. Several places. Sorry. There's several. I think we had 17 requests in the Nebraska area, in that area. So we're gonna figure out something. That's where we want to be.
Great. Anybody have any questions for Mark, for our presenters? I'm going to open it up to sort of a free-for-all question session as we finish out the morning's program. I have a few questions, but obviously this program is for you. So thank you very much. You get the lucky one for the first question.
Because I've been employed at different types of levels of business, and I've been elected and getting back out there in the world. You mentioned about having trouble with finding skill sets for certain areas and a couple other things. I find that it's hard for somebody, I gotta breathe here, over the age of 50 that wants to work, and you get the question of, why do you want this job? And why do you want to work here? And yet you have all the skill set, but you look at that person kind of like you're afraid to invest the time when you never know. They may work 20 years later. They just may not be maybe that younger set, but they've got the skill sets. I guess I want to know, why is it hard to not find that set of people?
I'll go the reverse side. If we have an older person walks in, I'm much more excited to talk to them than a 20-year-old now. I mean, I'm so disgusted with, it's just a waste of our time. We never keep, the average age of my workforce just keeps going up over time because they keep getting older and they're staying, and the younger ones just keep rotating through. So I would say the last 4 successful hires we've had have all been over 35 years of age. One of them 60. and I was very happy to get him in there. He's extremely talented. He's run shops and things like that. He just wants to work. And so he's happy to work where we are, and he's just a great addition to the team. So I'm the opposite at this point. I'm almost where I don't even want to talk to anybody in 30 anymore because it's just so, we never keep them. We had another operation that we've since gotten rid of in the last couple of weeks, but we had maybe 32 people at the max last year. I gave out 68 W-2s. It's insane. So no, I welcome older people to come in. It's a wonderful thing.
I know it sounds like nobody thinks about, experience or maturity but if I was told, and I'm just saying this for myself, just because I do a lot of different types of jobs, and I'm in public relations, and I am a political person, but it is so difficult to hear you're so overqualified. I mean, if all of you in here, where you're at, heard that, isn't that almost like an insult to so overqualified? Well, I hope I am at age 60. I do hope that. So, I hope that all of you can think about that when you got a person that comes in. My mom went to work at the age of 53 and worked until she was 78 years old at a position for the state, and honestly, I'm not sure too many people would have thought that at that time. So, anyway, thank you all for talking.
Good point. Question. Yes, ma'am.
For those of you that presented and have experienced growth since you presented, did presenting at 1 Million Cups give you, I think Steve mentioned, ideas or leads or resources that really truly helped you in your businesses?
I've had 2 people come in that interview that actually said they researched us by looking at that online, which I was stunned by that.
It has for us too. Probably the biggest thing is the contacts I've made with different people, partnerships, and just the contacts and the inner networking with everybody, and that just helps get our name out. Different ideas. I've had several people give me some fantastic ideas over the last 3-4 years. I think it's probably been 4 years since I've done it.
I think the true purpose of 1 Million Cups is really for entrepreneurs to help other entrepreneurs decide if they want to go down that path. I mean, that's it. The nice byproduct is networking, right? I don't think I've ever come to one of these where I haven't walked away with an opportunity to get a new customer, but I don't actively seek it. It's a nice byproduct. But the reality is, what's great about this group is it helps business owners, because we do talk about what we do, and it does inspire us. It's absolutely true when we talk about something, more is going to happen. And so this gives us a chance to do that. And then secondly, it is a great opportunity for people who really want to go down that path to hear from people who have done it and learn from their mistakes. And the true connections come after. So you hear somebody speak and then you follow up with them. Hey, let me take you to lunch. Let me really dig into what's going on. And that's where the benefits come.
I have a question for you. You mentioned moving forward with a digital presence through websites. Have you considered an app, smartphone app? My problem is I get out and about, and then I forget that I left the magazine on my counter in the kitchen. So it'd be great to have access to that.
That is a great question, and one that actually came up when I was talking to my web folks the other day. And right now we're about 50-50 on whether A, we can afford to go down that path, and B, what its benefits would be. But I'm really glad that you brought it up, because I had planned on following up with them on that and hadn't yet. So thanks for the reminder. Ultimately, it's a great idea.
Would help.
I can't tell you how many times I've been somewhere and I'm like, I bet there was a coupon for this showcase.
Yeah.
Any more questions? So if the Showcase magazine, I know that it's delivered to homes, else can I get it? I don't live in Sedalia.
The UPS store is where we stock. We give them several hundred copies, and there's copies in the front. And then most of our retailers that are in the magazine carry them. Not all of them do. Some of them don't want to have it, in their store for whatever reason. But the normal ones that you might think, like the Country Kitchen or Reed's and Son Jewelers, Weller's and Vincent's, and those guys all carry it. But the go-to place would be the UPS store because we always give them and restock as they run out, which they do probably about every week. I have to go restock it. So.
And the hotel bathroom lobby.
Yes, you can put it there as well. Correct.
Very good. Well, we are right upon 10 o'clock, and so we always try to keep these right at an hour. And I want to thank our presenters because you guys kept it short, sweet, and impactful, and more importantly, you took time out of running your businesses to be here. So thank you. Let's give them a